Hi friends, Candace Gillespie here with Candace's Canvases. Today I am going to share with you my take 3 on the Simon Says Stamp Ornate Background Stamp given to me by, I've said it before, my awesome friend Connie Hinkle. I'll be using Prismacolor pencils on black cardstock. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and click that bell icon so you get notified when I post new content. And one last thing before we dive in. Be sure to visit my interactive Facebook page called Crafters Anonymous by Candace's Canvases to get and give inspiration. You can post pictures of your projects and share them with everyone on there. And my social media links, mailing address, and some tools used will be linked below in the description bar. All right, so here we are. I am using my Tonic Studio stamp platform and stamping this ornate background stamp onto black cardstock, and I am nudging that cardstock right up into that corner there so that I stamp the same image. Again, I get the same, I hit the same lines. Man, my brain, okay, I say it every video, I have mom brain. That's just it. Well, from here forward, we'll just know, okay. Anyway, so I dusted that with some clear heat emboss powder. And once I'm sure I have a good covering, I turn on my heat tool and start to melt the embossing powder. This is really nice because it's going to help me stay in the lines, and it's also going to give the outlines of that stamped image a nice glossy, densely black, crisp outline. So this is one of my favorite parts of heat embossing is the melting, and the clear on black cardstock you can really see if you've missed anything and make sure you get good coverage. So I am using Prismacolor color pencils to color in this image, and this is kind of a lengthy process. So what I'll do from here is I will play you some royalty-free music that you can sit back, sip on some coffee or tea or milk, or whatever you prefer, and watch the coloring process. I know I'm a big fan of watching people color. One of my favorites is Sandy Allnock. Check her out. She's an amazing artist and paper crafter here on YouTube, and I will post a link to her videos down below. She does mostly Copic coloring, which I haven't dabbled into yet, but I will soon, hopefully. Anyway, enjoy the coloring, and I'll come back when I start to assemble the card. Okay, now that the coloring is done, mostly done anyway, I am going to cut my card base down. I'm cutting an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock down to 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm scoring that right down the middle, making it a making it a landscape fold card. And then I'm going to cut down my colored panel that I just finished. And I'm going to save the thicker piece because I'm going to put that in on the inside of the card. So I cut down two white pieces to measure 4 by 5.25. And then the black colored panel that I just colored, I cut that down to be 3.75 by 5. So just cleaning that up, and that's going to go on the inside, and I will stamp a sentiment on this. Okay, so I'm going to mount that colored cardstock, the newly colored ornate background cardstock, onto my white panel just to give it a nice thin border so that it pops off the card base. And before I do that, I did notice that I wanted to deepen or brighten that white. So I'm filling that in, and then you'll see in a minute that I noticed that I forgot to color a little part. So I'll do that now. Okay, I decided I'm going to make this a sympathy card. I don't have a lot of sympathy sentiments, but I should invest in a little more because they're special. They mean a lot to people. So I'm going to use this card that I spent a lot of time and tender care. You hear Sammy playing on the table next to me in the background. So yeah, as I was saying, I got distracted. I spent a lot of time and tender care on this card, and I want to give it to somebody who needs a little boost of love. So this just says with sympathy, and this is an old Stampin' Up set that I have from when I was a demonstrator. And I am stamping that with Versamark, and I'm going to heat emboss it with black embossing powder. Gently applying the heat with my heat gun over this vellum, because the vellum, is it's fragile. And then I'm going to stamp down my sentiment here. And at first I was like, dang, I can't see through this rubber stamp. So I'm going to do a test stamp. But then I realized, wait, this stamp platform has grid lines on it. So I'm just going to line it up with the grid lines, and I know that it'll be square. So that made it really nice. I just inked that a couple times with my VersaFine Black Onyx ink. It might become my favorite sentiment stamping ink. And then I'm using some stamp cleaner to clean that. This was before I got my stamp chamois, which, by the way, I love the stamp chamois. Sammy's here thinking, did you say Sammy or chamois? Chamois. I said chamois. Then I stamped that a little bit crooked, so I'm going to try to make up for it in my trimming down, and it didn't work perfectly, but it didn't matter because I wanted to cut this at an angle, and then just gluing it down on the back, and then I'm going to flip this over and just kind of try to as thinly as possible. Could have done thinner, but put the glue behind the sentiment so that you can't see it. Then I'm going to finish it up by gluing this on to the card front, and then I'm going to put a little pearl at the beginning of this. I thought about maybe putting a second layer, but just the coloring is too much. I can't cover it up, so I didn't. And then I usually sign the back of my cards. This one says with love, and then my name. And then I'll put that little pearl there, and that sums it up. So this is take 3 on my Simon Says ornate background stamp, and I have one more in mind. I can't wait to get that video filmed and edited and out to you guys, and that will complete my 4 ways of using this beautiful stamp. With that said, remember to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments if you have any ways I can improve the videos, or what kind of music you like to listen to, or any other projects you have in mind that you would like to see me create. Thanks so much, guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.